Hi, welcome to Break Through Your Threshold. I'm Jay Ma, and I created Break Through Your Threshold based on the psychological and metaphysical reasons why we are actually attracting obstacles anytime we create goals that are outside of our comfort zone. We're engaging the law of attraction unconsciously to mirror reflect what our self-imposed limitations are, and we call that glass ceiling the threshold. So the threshold is all about breaking through and tapping into what I describe as the vacuum effect. You get to experience the God within you, standing still and attracting everything to you, whether it's the right people, the places, the synchronicities. There's like an effortlessness and ease. After we overcome those obstacles, we break through that threshold and we get to attract our dreams like this. It's a very, very powerful effect that I've been working on for years. So my formula of manifestation, it's my job plus God's job equals manifestation. Your job has three things. The first thing, you focus on what you want. That doesn't mean that you're looking at the obstacles, you're not thinking about how to create what you want. Your job is to simply desire. Understand that every time that you have a desire in your heart, that is the divine's relationship with speaking directly through your soul center through desire. So just wanting what you want is powerful in and of itself. To allow yourself to connect with what you want and focus on it, meaning you're focusing, you're daydreaming, you're visualizing, and you're fully seeing the pictures, getting a sense of how that would look like, of exactly the end result of whatever you want. That's number one, focus on what you want. Step two is having unwavering faith that what you want will manifest. And that faith, I imagine like being kind of like a lighthouse out in the middle of the universe. And the ships are sailing in, and the ships are the supply of your desire that you have summoned because you've allowed yourself to want what you want. So God is the ship coming in, and here you are as a lighthouse, and it's your job to keep your light on. And how you do that is through unwavering faith. So anytime your light goes out, it's kind of like the ships of your supply have no clue where to land. So it's your job to keep that light up with unwavering faith. That's step two. Step three is to take practical and inspired action. So what that means is practically, what can you do now? What is an action that you have the ability and the knowing that you need to take care of right now? And then the inspired action is all about the divine delegating to you. So that comes through inspired conversations, hunches, inspirations, awarenesses, and you wait until the divine delegates those actions for you. And I love to tell those type A go-getter personalities that if you are not doing step three properly, you're going to feel tons of stress and anxiety. And the reason being is because God's job is the how-to. That is not your job. Your job is to focus on what you want, have unwavering faith it will manifest, and take practical and inspired action. It is God's job to figure out the how-to. So anytime you're abusing step three and you're overdoing the practical action and you're overdoing any action at all, and you start to feel burned out and you feel stressed and you go into worry and doubt, it's because you need to go back to step two and master your faith. There's something that's wavering in your faith where you have given up the belief and the knowing that God's job is to figure out the details of how your wonderful vision is being made manifest. So that's your job, God's job, and that creates manifestation. Imagine your consciousness like the size of this labyrinth. Every layer that you see represents a threshold that you had to break through in order for your consciousness to be this big. Now let's say everything you want in life may not be found within the realms of your consciousness. You may weave through the paths of the past, of the familiar, but what you will find is what you already know inside of these paths. If you want something that is outside of your threshold, you're going to have to break through yet another barrier and expand your consciousness in order to achieve that goal. There is no goal bigger than you, just goals that require you to be a bigger you. If you're truly playing big, if you're truly going for goals that are far outside your comfort zone, you're going to hit these thresholds. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what they are and how they show up, and then what you can do to break through. So one of the first thresholds is the external threshold, and we'll just call that the time and money threshold. That seems to be the most popular breakdown on our planet. People give a lot of power away to financial breakdowns or time breakdowns, like all of a sudden something happens and it seems to like take your time from you. So let's say you're creating a goal that has to do with having a lot of money. You say like you need a large amount of money because you want to build a home, or maybe take a vacation, or take a course, whatever it is. And it's a money goal that's outside your comfort zone, meaning you've never paid for something that expensive before. That's what I mean by a goal outside your comfort zone. Your threshold will be an obstacle, an experience that will threaten to take your money from you. So you want to create money so you can expect that the obstacle would threaten to take your money from you. And that threshold is to mirror the relationship that you have with money up until now. It's your own personal limitations of what you decided about money or lack. And what that's showing you is this is where you have stopped yourself before. This is where you have given away your power before, that you've allowed this obstacle, this financial obstacle, to come between you and what matters to you, what you truly wanted. So you have to confront that threshold. You have to deal with it. You get to deal with it. And so when it shows up, the whole idea is to decide that this is not an obstacle for you anymore. You don't know how, but you're not going to let this financial breakdown stop you from having what you want and what truly matters to you. So that's the external threshold. Another threshold I'd like to talk about is the body threshold. And the body threshold are for those people who get sick right before their big day. So have you ever been up to something big, whether it's like a speech you're going to give the next day and you're terrified as it is, or maybe you're putting on this huge show or huge event. Anyway, you're the one that's responsible for everything that's going on, and you get the flu like right before the event takes place. Have you ever had that happen? I call this the body threshold. And the body threshold manifests because we give away our power, we give away our energy, we say yes when there's really an authentic no inside. But those who manifest this threshold in their body are the nicey nice people. They're the ones that wear the mask. They're the ones that have to be the good friend and the good spouse and the good family member and the good partner. And because they feel guilty that they're going to fail the ones that they love, or that they're going to anger the ones that they love, they end up saying yes. They compromise their own energetic integrity, and they end up doing for them, and then become so sick within themselves because they've given away all of their energy that they end up catching the flu right before their own big day. So the way to break through your body threshold is to learn and master the art of assertive behavior. Say yes when you mean yes and no when you mean no. And if you find yourself like tired, the flu is one way that you can manifest in the body threshold. Tiredness is another way. If you find yourself constantly drained, take a look at how many activities are you engaged in your life that really do not fulfill you. They have nothing to do with your purpose, and you're doing because you feel obliged. And start cutting those out, and you will no longer manifest your threshold inside your body. The mind threshold. And this is when your mind basically self-attacks you and turns inward anytime you're creating a goal that's outside your comfort zone. I'll give an example of this. I call it the inner critical part of the mind. It's that part of the mind that records the 10 o'clock news. It tells you exactly why you can't do this goal at this time. It tells you why you're inadequate. It tells you why someone else could do it better. It tries to make up excuses, and it hides within the confines of your logical thinking. So everything that it's reporting sounds logical and makes sense, and it seems like it's trying to help you, but all it's doing is bringing up fear, and it's masking it in logic. And remember I said step 1 on manifesting, your job is to focus on what you want. So it's about focusing on exactly what you want with no compromise. And when that inner critic shows up and begins to tell you why you can't have it, or why it's not practical, or whatever it says to you, masked in logic, if you notice your energy go down, it's because that part of your mind is trying to stop you, and your job is to remain focused on what you want. The emotional threshold. This is for people who have trouble engaging in drama. So the cool thing about dramatic people is that we're highly creative, and I say we because that's my most challenging threshold. Lots of creative juju, and just at the time that you're ready to do something very powerful with your life, that's when all these breakdowns start happening in relationships, whether it's your partner wants to leave you right before your big day, to like family dysfunction, to chaos with your best friend, to someone even in the process of death and crossing over. It's about not engaging in the emotional pushing battlefield. And if you have engaged, to immediately get out of the battlefield, get back into vibrational alignment with your goal, and continue to funnel your creative energy toward your goal. Otherwise, you will lose it in an emotionally draining black hole. So that's the emotional threshold. If you jive with what I just shared with you so far, these are principles that work. I have been mastering them for years. I live my life this way, and quite often I hear people say, "Jay-Ma, you live your life kind of in this place of magic." And they're right, I do. And it's because I've discovered I've discovered these very simple, timeless keys of co-creating with the divine. I've just recalled them within myself, and I know that they're true because when I practice them rigorously and when I don't waver on my faith, I can manifest like this. And that's what I've shared in this book. So if you're the type of person that either sets goals powerfully, always living outside your comfort zone, or if you're the type of person that has been living in the box up until now and wants out of the box. And what I mean by the box are those people who are giving away their power and compromising themselves in exchange for the illusion of security. And they do that because they don't know how they can create what they want, and they don't even believe it's possible. But if you're tired of living that way, then I invite you to download my book, Break Through Your Threshold, and join me on this adventure of co-creating with the divine, living on purpose with your life, and manifesting heaven on earth. Blessings to you.